Let me get my stuff pulled up. Hello, everybody that's on YouTube and Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube and Periscope. We're about to go live. We are about to rock and roll. There's only one way to rock. Here we go.
This is the Josh Innes Show.
Howdy, Josh Innes Show. Thank you for jissing, baby. Thank you very much. Glad you are with us today. Jilly is here.
Hello.
Of course, the great Luther Van Dam is here. He had a pretty good checkup. I say pretty good. He had a great checkup at the vet for those of you who are concerned about such things.
Yep. Just waiting on the blood work, but everything looked good.
Everything looked good for old Luther. Blood work's good. Hopefully. He's got his lump is fine. As I've told you forever, his lump is fine.
I was pretty confident it was, but I just feel better that we got it checked.
Yeah, his lump is fine.
Just some fatty cells.
That's it. Said he's healthy and wonderful, and they didn't even call him an old man.
No, they gave him the young dog blood work. That makes me happy.
Yes, they gave him the young dog blood work. That's our puppy. Way to go, Luther. You did it, buddy.
They were really in on, remember that whole big story a few months ago where like the grain-free diets cause heart disease?
Yes.
Like they brought that up multiple times yesterday. So I'm like, well, hell, maybe we should try to switch to the non-grain-free, the grain diet, I guess.
The problem is sometimes when we switch Luther's food, he ends up with digestive issues, and that's the problem we run into.
Well, that's most dogs, but I think we put him on that grain-free diet originally because of the farts.
And I know that you guys are sitting there going, why the hell are you talking about dog farts? Like, I just started listening to this podcast because somebody said you give hot takes about Philadelphia sports and you're talking about dog flatulence. Yes.
But we said we'd give a full recap of Luther's trip to the vet. So.
And it was good, and everything is fine, and Luther's alive and kicking, and things are good, and life is good, and we're selling some T-shirts for one more week, by the way. I do have to tell you, JoshInnesShow.com. I had about 80, 90 people on my Facebook page saying that they're still going to buy this week. And the guys over at 97 Graphics decided, I threw out an idea to them last week. I think I talked about it on the podcast, about doing a T-shirt with Bregman and Yordan Alvarez. Mm-hmm. Well, if you Astros folks are listening, we have got that new T-shirt that's up and going, too. It's going to be a cool playoff shirt. Some of the folks in the Stros, Bros, and Sisters
Bro, this
group.
is the Philly podcast.
I get that. Many people listen to both. Many people listen to both. But if you're in Philly and you haven't gotten your awesome shirt yet, we've sold a couple hundred of these bad boys, so we appreciate you because that allows us to keep Luther in the good dog food. So thank you very much. Birds on a short week. All right, so here's the deal. I keep seeing people, and we got a lot to talk about today as it relates to the birds and other stuff, but the Eagles season could end on Thursday. It's ridiculous to say, but the Eagles season could end on Thursday. A loss mixed with a Cowboys win, and you're a quarter of the season, and you are, 3 games behind the Cowboys, and they are undefeated. The Eagles are in a lot of trouble. They continue to battle injuries. Things are not looking good for them right now. But I like to kind of scan through some of these Facebook groups and Twitter posts and see what fans are feeling, what fans are thinking, what's going through their mind, who they think needs to step up. And I'm amazed by the number of people I see that say, well, Carson's going to have to play his ass off for us to win this game. Well, Carson seems to play his ass off virtually every game. Last time I checked, Carson Wentz is not the guy who's going to go out and throw it and catch it himself. Last time I checked, it's not Carson Wentz's fault that the Eagles have 2 sacks on the year. It's not Carson Wentz's fault that the Eagles are giving up damn near 300 yards passing per game, which has them near the bottom of the NFL. If Carson Wentz does exactly what Carson Wentz has been doing, and oh, by the way, throw in drop after drop after drop after fumble, after allowing special teams touchdowns, if you eliminate those things, you got a shot to win. It has nothing to do with Carson Wentz. Wentz is going to play well. That's what Wentz does. If he plays poorly, there's absolutely no shot of them winning based on the fact that everything I just mentioned has been god-awful for the Birds so far. But it's not about Carson Wentz. I know some people still want to cling to that, although I'll give credit. I think the majority of people in Philadelphia understand that Wentz, when healthy, is a special guy, is a talented guy. It's literally everybody else's fault. How many times can a guy put a ball right on someone's hands and it's dropped in a key situation? How many players can you lose due to injury? How can you have, and I forgot about this and didn't talk about it yesterday, the entire offensive line gave up on a play. The left side of the offensive line gave up on a play involving Carson Wentz. Guy could have died potentially on that play. The defense stinks. Special teams. This is going to be one of those kind of games where it's not, oh, Carson Wentz has to throw for 500 for us to win. No, Carson Wentz is going to have to do what he does. What's going to really have to happen is something similar to what you got out of the Saints this past weekend. The Saints game should be a good example of what needs to happen for the Eagles to go on the road and steal one from the Packers. They're similar situations. Two good football teams, both Seattle and Green Bay, two great home fields, solid records on both sides, and you got a team that's really desperate for a win, similar point spreads. I think the Saints were a 4.5-point dog on the road. The Eagles are a 5.5-point dog on the road. You're going to need a special teams touchdown. You're going to need a defensive touchdown. You're going to have to take care of the ball completely. I don't think the Saints turned the ball over in that game. I might be mistaken. By the end of it, I was kind of blurry. I don't recall completely. But you're going to have to take care of the ball, which is something they haven't done. You're going to have to get to the quarterback, which is something they haven't done. You're going to have to make... They did get a bbig special teams play with the block from Malcolm Jenkins, but you're going to have to get out there and you're going to have to score on a play like that. If the Birds lose, you're talking about 1-3. Cowboys have a great shot to go to the Dome and win on Sunday, and you're talking about 4-0 versus 1-3 with some really good 2-1, 2-2 teams mixed in there as well. We talked about the Saints yesterday when they're going to get Drew back if they stay alive. You're no longer playing for the division at that point. You're playing for the wild card with 75% of your schedule still going. This is the season. This is make or break time. This is a must-win football game for the Eagles on Thursday. Let's do some news.
It's Josh Ennis with What the Kids Are Talking About.
All right, Jilly, what's shaking?
We were just talking about the Eagles. They're done with that Detroit loss. So much, in fact, that Doug Peterson said they didn't even watch any tape from it. They're not even worried about it. They're not going to look at it.
Well, they don't have the time for it.
They are moving on to Green Bay. Yeah, so
They have to, yeah.
maybe it's a strange kind of blessing that it's such a short week, so they don't have to, dwell on that awfulness.
Maybe, but it's not because everyone's hurt. Like I don't know. Like last week, I felt, hey, it was a solid play to go with the Birds to win at home because the whole world was saying go one way. I would guess the whole world is going to say go one way on Green Bay, and Green Bay is going to win. And when Green Bay wins, it sucks, but when Green Bay wins, they're going to be 1-3, and you're talking about playing for the wild card with 75% of your schedule left.
You can add another injury to the Eagles, actually. Ronald Darby is expected to miss a few weeks after getting an MRI done on his hamstring.
They've got
One
trouble.
more
I don't
added to the list.
understand. And maybe Jalen Ramsey isn't going anywhere. Every day there's something new, and really it's just, they're not going to trade him. They're not going to trade him. Throw a couple of first rounders at him. Your pass rush is getting nowhere. The Birds' pass rush is nowhere. The secondary is near the bottom of the league in terms of yards. You need a shot in the arm. You need a game changer. Because by the time you get Jeffrey back, and by the time you get Deshaun back, and you get things clicking, you could be a 1-3, 1-4 football team, and that's all she wrote. Not too many teams are starting 0-3, especially when you've got a team in the division that's 4-0. Last year's Texans started 0-3, but they played in a pretty lousy division, so you can survive starting 0-3. Starting 1-3 could be all she wrote for the Birds. This is gigantic for them this week.
Nelson Aguilar responded to the now viral video of the guy catching babies being tossed from the burning building.
Yep.
Props to him for doing something good despite the dude shitting on him. Aguilar retweeted the clip and said, quote, "Thank you for being a hero in the community. Would like to invite you and your family to the next home game. Twitter, help me out and get in touch with this guy."
I think that was a cool move on his part.
Yeah.
A lot of people would handle that kind of criticism poorly unless you know it was warranted. Like Aguilar deserved it because he had some big drops. So I like people who are self-aware. When you know you fucked up, you can make a joke about how you fucked up, and now you've got a guy who's kind of laughing about it and making jokes about you, and it's become an internet meme and gif, and it's funny. I like that, and I think that shows some level of maturity. But all that said, it doesn't change the fact that you're still dropping passes. I think it's going to help kind of take some of the sting away. It's going to be hard for people in Philly to bang on you whenever you said, "Hey, I'm going to invite your family to a game." I I can take myself as a joke on occasion.
You better
I can
not
laugh
drop
at
any
myself.
passes in that game.
Who are you telling?
Because invited to the game or not, dude's not going to give him any mercy.
No, but I give him. It's a two-sided coin. I give him credit because you got to be able to laugh at yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
The problem you run into is the second you drop another ball, no one cares that you did something nice. So I give Aguilar credit. It's funny. You laugh at it. The guy's become internet famous, and he'll be that way for a few minutes. He'll come to a game. It'll be another story. NBC Sports and the Action News and all these different outlets will do stories about it, that Aguilar invited him to a home game, and they met before the game probably.
Well, I don't know if he's found him yet. That's the other question. I'm waiting for that update.
How difficult can that be? We can find anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally, if you Google your name on the internet, your entire family history will come up and everywhere you've lived. You want to talk about creepy? Like I was on one of those ancestry websites or something once. I forgot which one it was because I was curious to see how far back it goes. And honestly, I don't know. I need to dig a little bit deeper. I'd like to see my lineage until we find out that like the Innises were great Civil War Confederate battlers. And now all of a sudden it makes me a racist because 200 years ago I had relatives that fought for the South. So I may not want to know. Maybe it's best that I don't. Although I do think we came from Scotland for what it's worth, and our last name used to have 2 S's instead of 1. I don't know when they lost the S, but whatever. So I'm looking this up, and it's got my dad's records, everywhere he's lived, every phone number he's had.
I just Googled your phone number, and I can tell you all of your previous addresses just right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
2906 Leland Street.
That's where we lived here the first time you and I did.
4581 Fleming Street.
That's where we lived in Philadelphia.
5960 Segan Lane, apartment 9106.
That was the Bristol Place Apartments. That was my first place I had on my own.
3869 Chatelaine Drive.
That's my dad's old house.
9855 Jefferson Highway.
I don't know what I never lived on Jefferson Highway.
Oh, well,
9855 Jefferson Highway.
Someone with your information lived there between July 14th of 2017 and July 31st of 2017. Maybe someone tried to use your information to get an apartment there.
Wouldn't that be something? I don't know what it was, but
I also can see all of your relatives.
Who are my relatives?
Emily Innes.
That's my sister.
Jody.
Yeah. That's my former stepmom, yeah.
Scott Innes.
That's my dad.
Artie Landry.
That's Jody's dad.
Brian Perrant.
That's Emily's husband.
Brittany Dupoy.
That is my former stepsister.
Carol Sparks.
Don't know a Carol Sparks. Who the hell is Carol Sparks?
I don't know.
See, now they're making shit up.
I don't know.
I don't know a Carol Sparks.
But still, I mean, the fact that we found like most of your previous addresses.
Correct.
But that's just with your phone number.
I
that
know.
wasn't even like any like crazy site or anything.
And
That's
then
literally
like,
just
and this shit dates back. Like my dad, you can
Oh
look
wow,
at.
it's got your current address too.
Really?
Yep.
See, that's bullshit.
And it tells you how long
is my
you've lived
current
there.
how is my current address just on the internet?
It says you are 33 years old. You
I
were
am.
born in August of 1986.
I was.
You are alive.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
This is just with a phone number search. That's ridiculous.
Bullshit. I don't like it. What comes up when you put in the burner phone phone number?
I don't know.
What is it? It's 832-919-3459.
Well, my guess is you haven't ever filled out like paperwork or anything with the burner phone number.
Hopefully it has nothing associated with it then. And if you guys,
just your tweets about it.
And if you do want to call the burner phone, it's 832-919-3459. You can leave a voicemail or send a text or whatever. So that's bullshit. But
Yeah,
it makes my point. It shouldn't be that difficult to find the unlike Aguilar guy. Right? It shouldn't be.
I'm sure they'll find him.
They'll find him. He'll go to a game.
What
Aguilar
if,
will
like, in
probably
some,
give him some gloves, and then like the guy will bring him some stickum or something, LOL, and it'll be a bit. It'll be wacky.
Wouldn't it be funny if some like dramatic turn of events, it turns out this dude's a Cowboys fan
Oh, it'd be even better.
and was just like fucking with everybody?
That'd be great.
I'd laugh.
Now that, my friend, would be a fun turn of events.
I would laugh.
So it shouldn't be that hard to find, but I do appreciate that Nelson Aguilar has a sense of humor about things.
I do too.
All right, what else you got?
It's a big day. It's Gritty's birthday, hence why I'm wearing.
It's Gritty's birthday today.
First birthday 1 year ago. This wacky orange.
Yeah, Jilly's got
Fur thing.
the Gritty shirt. That sounded odd, but
It
yes,
did.
Jilly has the wacky orange fur thing on her shirt.
Remember how much people hated Gritty the first day they announced him? Like
And
people
now
were
he's the
mocking
greatest,
him,
yeah.
and everyone was like, "What is this? This is gross."
And now he's the greatest.
And now he's the greatest.
Yeah.
I think you can play with him on the new NHL game too.
I might have to get the new NHL game just to play with Gritty.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody has had a greater about face in terms of public perception than Gritty.
No doubt.
Because Gritty out of the chute, it was, what the hell is this? It's creepy. It's weird. And somehow the Flyers are not good at building hockey teams. We can acknowledge that.
But mascots.
Winning hockey games is not their strength. But whoever is in charge of Gritty and wearing the costume
and the social media is brilliant.
It's the greatest social media for a mascot or maybe anything there is. I appreciate that this character is always in character.
Yes.
I appreciate that Gritty talks shit and that Gritty embraces the hate. Like, what was when Gritty came in on the ball and they were playing, it came in like a wrecking ball. Like, it's beautiful. Like, the Flyers suck at everything.
And he was talking shit to the Penguins mascot, I believe,
yes.
like his first week of existence.
Think about this. You've got a team that can't scout really well, doesn't sign players very well, doesn't win very well, hasn't really found a goalie in like 2 decades, yet they were able to produce the greatest mascot in a city that already had the greatest mascot. A guy who's a mascot Hall of Famer, like an OG mascot Hall of Fame classer. When we're talking about the Philly Fanatic, they've been able to come in and turn Gritty into this megastar. It is a pretty impressive feat what Gritty's been able to accomplish, and I give credit to the people who are in charge of his social. They never seem to break character, and Gritty is always an asshole, and that's how it should be.
And the videos are great. There's one today where he threw himself a birthday party and whatnot, but he's just the hijinks. I love the hijinks.
Was it Gritty that also had the Kim Kardashian picture with like the wine glass on his ass?
Yep.
It's brilliant.
And he's obsessed with Claude Giroux. Like, it's just good. It's good stuff.
Evan Wright on the Spreaker says Gritty is basically when you feed Grimace cocaine. Essentially, yes.
It's accurate.
It's a brilliant, brilliant move by the Flyers, and it helps take away attention from the fact that they're a joke of an organization and have been for like a decade.
I remember, was it his first debut on the ice? It might have even been preseason last year because right when they announced him and he fell.
Yes.
I still don't even know if that was choreographed or not, but it was fantastic.
I think it was, but it was brilliant.
It was wonderful.
Because they know that that's going to go viral. So it's brilliant. Whatever they've done and how they've done it, they have been brilliant as it relates to Gritty. Well done, Flyers. You did it.
We saw the Gritty Christmas Spectacular when we were in town last year, if you recall. That was intense.
I thought I was going to have a seizure.
That was intense.
And that's before they've put in this new scoreboard and everything. Like, you see what they're working with now in that over at Wells Fargo Center with a brand new scoreboard. But when we went last year for a game, they had just put in kind of all the lights and the glass and the ice looks like it's dropping and it felt, and it was louder than usual. It felt like a seizure, like the living embodiment of a seizure. Like what Johnny Depp must have felt like in Fear and Loathing for most of that movie. That's what I felt like sitting there watching the pregame involving Gritty and involving pyrotechnics.
It was the Trans-Siberian Orchestra just booming in.
And when you hear that Trans-Siberian, that ba-na-na-na, it gets really fucking intense.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I was going to keel over and die. I almost had to get up and try to walk. The problem is I probably would have fallen down. And then they lost 5-0.
Right, but the pregame was really cool.
The intro kicked so much ass. It was out of control.
So the final nail in the Phillies' coffin will likely be today.
Thank God.
One loss away from being officially eliminated after losing last night. Now, they would also, if there was this miracle to happen, not only would the Phils have to win out, they would also need the Brewers and the Nationals to lose out. So it's been fun.
Yeah.
JT Real Muto doubtful for either of today's doubleheaders. I say just let him rest at this point.
Might as well. It's over now, yeah.
He's got the right knee soreness. Playoffs aside, they do need to win 3 games, though, to finish with a winning record for the first time since 2011. So
hey, look at
there is something to play for.
Let me tell you, that's the reason you spend $330 million on Bryce Harper, is so you can actually finish with a slightly above 500 record for the first time in nearly a decade.
The saddest part, and I get you have to be we're not going to stop. We're going to keep fighting, but come on. Yeah. We're not dumb. So Gabe Kapler says after the loss yesterday, quote, I have zero doubts about our guys pushing hard every single game. As long as we are still in this thing, we are going to act like we're still in it.
All right, well, whatever.
Cool.
That's the best. We're going to act like we're still in it.
As long as we're still in it, we're going to act like
We've basically not been in it for 2 months. We win a couple of games and think we're back in it. We've basically been out of it for 2 months, but we're going to play as if we're in it. Congratulations, Phillies. You're playing make-believe. You know who's not going to buy that? Your fans who are not going to give a shit for the next 7 games. But congratulations, Sixers, Phillies. At least You were able to convince yourselves that you're still playing for something.
Speaking of the Sixers, you know basketball season starts in like a month?
I know.
That's absurd.
Yeah, hold on, I dropped something.
You hate the NBA.
I'm not a big fan of it, no. It's not really my thing. Here it is. Okay, I dropped a cord here, sorry.
What does that do?
That plugs into my phone just in case I need to call somebody. The NBA shouldn't start until January.
Ish.
Does anybody really give a shit about basketball until the turn of the calendar?
Well, I like the wacky program, as I call it. So, once Inside the NBA comes back to TNT, I'm pretty happy. But again, I'm not watching the actual game. I'm watching the post game. It's way more entertaining.
Yes, but I really just couldn't care less about what happens in basketball in November. And you know who else doesn't really give a shit about what happens in basketball in November? The players.
Yeah.
It's a waste. Start the season in January. Play 50 games. There's no need to play 82 games in an NBA season. The majority of the games don't matter.
Troy Aikman got a little sassy on Twitter last night. He retweeted a post from the Athletic Kansas City that said, quote, "In case you missed it, Patrick Mahomes has thrown 36% of Troy Aikman's career touchdowns in about 8% of the games."
I
Aikman
saw that.
added his own reply that read, quote, "In case you missed it, talk to me when he has 33% of my Super Bowl titles."
Sick burn! You just got burned. You got sassed by Troy Aikman. How about that? Get you a taste of them vittles, bitch. That's what just happened. You just got served some beef stew from Troy Aikman, biatch.
I like how basically the fart is the only sound you have over there, so we just use it for everything.
Well, I mean, I also have this.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
I am able to create content just based on 2 fart sound effects so far. I've got that one and that one. As of right now, that's what I've got. Until we find more, I'm not really a sound effects guy. I am a drop guy.
Troy Aikman, he's been really sassy, though. Like, I think he might have done this one just to follow up because he got all that press for when he was talking shit on Doug Gottlieb.
He
remember?
did. And then Fox, like, he had to explain how Fox was like, we don't care that you talk shit about him, but don't talk shit about Fox.
Don't talk about FS1. You can shit on Doug Gottlieb all you want, but
Yes, I know.
we have rules.
What else you got?
Let's see. Oh, so we've all been there. You go through a breakup. You're trying to get over an ex, cleanse your life of anything that reminds you of them.
Yep.
That's what this woman in Nebraska was trying to do. She decided she was going to burn a bunch of old love letters from her ex-boyfriend.
That's a solid idea.
What's weird is I didn't know people still wrote like handwritten paper love letters.
Only serial killers.
And this one's only 19, so it's not like she's 60 and has her old letters from wherever.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's 19. Decided to burn these love letters in her bedroom. She used a butane torch to ignite the letters.
Okay.
Some of which fell to the floor. She
I don't think that's going to go well. No,
left
not at
the
all.
room to take a nap, only to awaken to find the carpet in the bedroom on fire, causing $4,000 worth of damage.
Damn.
This is what happens when you listen to Taylor Swift songs.
It is. That Taylor Swift, she causes damage, is what
Bad
she causes.
influence, causing like chicks to light their bedrooms on fire, burning letters.
I really hate that stupid. I really hate Taylor Swift. I didn't used to. I do now. Let me see. Let me tell you about somebody really quick. Somebody who helps make this podcast go. And then I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but we're going to call Tank because I don't believe Tank works for WIP anymore.
What?
I just texted him and he said, I'm not with WIP anymore.
Interesting.
So I'm going to call Tank here in a second.
We got to get the dirt.
I do. So who am I telling him about, Jilly?
We are going to talk about
Who would talk about O'Neill Insurance Agency? Is that
O'Neill Insurance Agency.
the O'Neill Insurance Agency? Pat O'Neill for your auto, home, business, or life insurance. It's our friend Pat. Don't you dare call him Patrick because you are friends, damn it. It's Pat O'Neill and the O'Neill Insurance Agency, a full-service independent insurance agency located in Lafayette Hill, Pennsylvania. They're independent and can truly find the best possible combination of coverage and price for you. They don't work for any one insurance company. They're employed by you, the valued clients, and that is who they serve every day. They are Lafayette Hill's most trusted independent insurance agency. You can get a quote on the website. Okay, their website, go there, check that out. Lafayette Hill's most trusted insurance agency. Their website is o'neillagency.com. That's O-N-E-I-L, o'neillagency.com. Or send an email to Pat at o'neillagency.com. If nothing else, let him know you heard about him here and that, hey, when you're in the market for some insurance needs, you're going to call him. It's a good dude, friend of the show, loyal friend of the show who got in right from the jump. O'Neill Insurance Agency. The website, o'neeillagency.com. Check them out. They're awesome. Tell Pat O'Neill that you heard about it right here on the Josh Ennis Show, right here on this podcast. So hold on now. This is potentially a big deal now. Evidently, Tank is no longer on WIP. Let me call Tank and see what the deal is. See if I got him here. I might have it wrong here. Hold on.
What's up, man?
What's going on, big dog?
Oh, nothing. Spike has some fucking personal issues. He just
Well, hold on, just so you know, we're on the podcast right now. Just so you know.
I don't give a fuck. I don't work there no more.
All right. So how long has this been the case? How long have you not worked at WIP?
It's only been a week.
Oh, wait a second. So why didn't you tell me this a week ago?
Because it hadn't fully materialized. He gave me an ultimatum, like if I didn't. Well, okay, so you know that they're crappy at communicating appearances.
Yeah.
So they wanted to give me an appearance back in April. So the schedule came out. So I knew I was going to the Atlanta game because my youngest daughter's down there, and it would give me an opportunity to go down there for that month. So it would knock out 2 birds with one stone. I would get to go down there and make some money, and also I would get to see my kid because I don't get to see her that often.
Yes.
So so when they gave me they were trying to give me the appearance, they never gave me the date or the time. Now this is all the way back in April. So in June I started asking every time I was on once a week. So once a week I would ask Brian Cole, when is the appearance? What time? So then it got hot and heavy because I made my ticket. I want to say at the end of July, beginning of August for the Atlanta game. So I'm still.
Let me ask you this. So let me be clear. For those of you who don't know, Tank also does a podcast with the guys with the Green Legion, and you do a lot of stuff with them.
Yes, correct.
So it's kind of like a side gig that you also had.
Well, yes, Green Legion is great. Green Legion Radio. They pay me and treat me well.
Mm-hmm.
But Spike has a problem with Quimby because
and who's Quimby for those who don't know?
Quimby is Craig Shanowski. He's the leader of the Green Legion, and he had a problem. He had a problem with Quimby, a personal issue that stemmed back from the LA trip that he paid for. He paid for a trip to LA. Some things got botched up by WIP with Al. Al didn't want to go in the beginning of it anyway, and I feel like they should have just told him instead of having to spend like $5 or $6 extra grand of his money out of his pocket to pay for Al's ticket and hotel, and Al never showed up.
And for those who also don't know, Quimby is the one who's responsible also for getting what's the kid's name? Is it Giovanni?
Giovanni,
for getting him the trip to the game on Sunday.
That's my guy. I love that kid. He's a dude. It's like I didn't know what the syndrome the kid had. I didn't know what syndrome he had. And I went and looked it up. I was like, that's rough on him. It's like it's like just constantly having your muscles contract for no reason.
Yeah, it sucks. And he posts some upbeat videos all the time, and he loves Carson Wentz.
Yeah, he's a cool kid. So
anyway, we'll rewind then. So just to be clear, Quimby is the guy that's the leader of the Green Legion. You do business with him on a podcast and go on trips with him on road games. And Spike had an issue with this guy.
Well, yeah, he had an issue because they had a falling out back in 2 years ago during Super Bowl run year because of the LA trip, which I was out there and also, and the LA trip and some money got wasted, which the big companies don't care about, but that Quimby's a big company, but he's not a big company, so he cares about his brand. Sure. So they had a falling out, so I heard about the fallout, but Quimby never said anything or did anything towards Spike because he's my friend.
Now, do you believe that then Spike somehow held this against you?
Yeah, because he says he said it. Okay, so I was getting to that part. So let me speed it up. Let me tell the story like I'm a prepubescent girl. So basically, what happened was with the appearance for WIP, they never told me the appearance until like September the 2nd. And so I hadn't told you, but like I'll be writing stuff down to make sure I got everything.
You're keeping some receipts and like a log of everything, basically.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, because of my concussion stuff. So I But when they told me when the appearance was, before I could cross-reference it with my other schedule, Spike said that I could not do my podcast because Pete from Chicky and Pete had picked it up and would start paying me.
Okay, so you were getting paid to do your podcast by Pete, and WIP said, so Pete offered to do it, and then you said you couldn't do it because WIP said you couldn't do it.
Well, no. We had already got it started, and we had already started pumping it because we've been doing the podcast, but then Pete picked it up for the season.
Ah.
And so then they got word of it. So then Spike called me yelling like a school bitch in my ear, like I'm like talking about you gotta do my podcast because conflict of interest is competitive. I was like, well, how is it competitive? It's like he was saying that they had podcasts there. I was like, but y'all don't pay me to do podcasts there.
But doesn't Spike have a podcast too?
Yeah, but exactly. But so then he started mentioning Quimby's name.
Okay, so his issue still stems in your mind. It still stems from whenever Quimby, they had a money issue during the trip to LA.
A money issue and some other stuff. So then I guess the union involved.
And that's Rob Cherry. For people who don't know, Rob Cherry is the guy Cherry that's the guy.
It's Steven.
Yeah.
So then they get involved, and Steve talks to him, and Steve said he's really got it in for this Quimby guy. So I was like, first of all, it's not really even about me. So then in the midst of all this, I forget about telling them that the appearance coincides with my trip to Atlanta.
Ah.
So then I tell them that my trip to Atlanta, I was like, I'm not doing an appearance because I've been at my trip, got a first class ticket and everything, my trip to Atlanta.
Now, how long did they know about your trip to Atlanta?
They've been knowing about my fucking trip to Atlanta.
Okay. But then did they conveniently then say, oh, you can't go, or they act like they didn't know about it?
They said that I can't show if I don't show up to the appearance, then my appointment is in jeopardy. And I say that's it. I say, okay, bye.
So you just walked out.
Yeah, I didn't walk out. They was on the phone. And so then the union, I wanted to beat everybody up. So that was my reasoning for walking away. When I start wanting to kick your ass, it's not whether it's going to. It's a matter of time before it happens. Because one, I'm starting not to like you and not respect you because you're acting like a bitch in this whole thing.
So let me. What does Angelo think of all this? Because you and Angelo are tight.
Angelo could help me, but then and I knew what he's talking about the appearance because I botched the appearance part up. I was like, but when they kicked it out of my mind with not telling me I couldn't do my podcast, I didn't give a fuck because he was like, you're taking money out of my pocket, and then you start spewing this crap about being all in at WIP. I was like, fuck stick, I'm part-time. I am part-time. I was like, so my money on the side, I do my money on the side, just keep busy and stuff because you have me on 3 times a week, which is cool. I was like, but don't act like you all in on Hollis Summers because if you're not all in with me, I'm not all in with you.
And not only that, the part that I don't get, unless there's something that's changed, is Spike has a 76ers podcast, and my guess is that podcast makes money.
I'm pretty sure it does.
And I don't know that for a fact, but he's got probably 25, 30,000 diehard people that listen to it, and they have big events, and they had big things where they filled up Xfinity Live. So he's got the trust the process. My guess is he's made money off of that before.
Yeah, my guess is that too. All I guess is he has. All I can guess is I could sue him for discrimination because I am the only black guy up there.
Well, Ike's there too,
and it looks real bad when you single out the one black guy who's just trying to make a little bit of cheese.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't want to be the guy that sues people over discrimination. Fuck that. Like you don't want to be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy. But I'm just saying. I was laughing because somebody asked me whether they're gonna sue, and I was like, nah, not really.
Just go make your money with Quimby. Fuck it. You know what? I mean, you're not on WIP. I wouldn't doubt that once guys over at like 97.5 find out that you're not on WIP anymore, my guess is they wouldn't have a problem having you on regularly. And I don't know this for a fact because I don't know them all, but maybe wouldn't give a shit that you're doing a podcast.
Well, yeah. But no, everybody, that was the thing. Some of the people from over there on our podcast. So I haven't decided if I want to go back into that into that realm. I kind of want to. I want to do a little bit just to fuck with everybody. But it was funny because people like him. This funny part too, because at the Atlanta during the Atlanta time, I saw some of the executives from Intercom.
Mm-hmm.
And so they was saying, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, "I love you on the radio." I was like, "Well, that level's so vague."
Hey, at least now you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. 3 times a week anymore.
Oh yeah, and then and the funny part was too is like I was telling a lot of people, a lot of people that follow me, they were saying that was the reason why they used to tune in because of me and you, and then when you left, they was talking about they only tuned in because of me, and I was like, well, I didn't tell anybody until it was actually official.
Yeah, you didn't tell. You and I talked last week.
Yeah.
And you were saying that you were kind of, you didn't really specify that you were on your way out. You actually just kind of kept that. I just knew that you wanted to do your podcast with Quimby and they didn't want you making money off of that podcast. That's the only part you told me.
Well, he said it's competitive because it's with Pete.
Well, sure. And I imagine Pete spends a ton of money, or they have a lot of deals involving Pete, if I had to guess.
But Pete uses everybody's radio station.
That's
what the hell
true.
are we talking about?
That's true. He's everywhere.
It's like, so I was laughing. I was like, dude, you have got to come better than that. But then I was laughing because I think I'm gonna go down to the unemployment office and apply for unemployment just to stick my foot in their ass. It's like not because when you look at the grand scheme of things, because actually when you asked about Angelo did say Angelo and Miss Cataldi said that he was full of shit for not wanting me to do my podcast. But Angelo said he couldn't help me because it looked like I said yes on the appearance. And actually what ended up happening was it was basically my decision because they say it looked like I said yes on the appearance, and then I backed out at the last second when they said I could do my podcast. But I told them to go fuck it. I told them to go fuck yourself because it's like if you gave me the information when I was asking for it, then none of this would have happened.
Yeah. So here you are. I've been asking you about this information since the beginning to the end of June. You told me about the appearance in April. Yeah. So now you're no longer on WIP.
No. It's there for an hour. And then it's like a happy hour. Then we're developing slowly. It's going to be called Get Tank Happy Hour, where I'm going to have a Thursday podcast with just talking about the game that's coming up. Because we only have after the game, reaction after the game right now. So I told them we need to get something like before the game starts. Who would do that
with you, I bet? It would be glad to do it, is Seth Joyner. He's looking for some podcast stuff. I talked to him the other day. So get him in touch with Quimby.
The funny part was I don't know if you saw my Instagram post.
Which one?
You got to go back and look at my one where I posted. I was posting off the calls that was going on in the game.
Oh, well, I did see that you were pissed off about the officials. I did see that.
Yeah. Well, actually, did you even listen? Because I was going ballistic.
Well, usually I only watch your videos of you watching Maury.
Yeah. Well, you have to watch the one while I watch TV because I listened back to him and I was like, man, I need help. But it's like it was an unconscious thing. I just be listening, and you see the call because somebody just asked me the other day, well, how was the officials when you played? I was like, you know what, they were actually pretty good when we played. It's like they rarely missed a call like the ones that they missing now. Like right now, it seems like these fuck sticks are blind.
Yeah, no, they suck. They suck.
I'm talking about complete and utterly.
I don't know how you missed that call. Sanders' head basically clean off. I don't know how you missed that.
You know what? How do you miss this? This is what'll piss you off too. Go back and look at all of my pictures, and you'll see a referee right on top of the play not making the call. Now you see he made the call against Malcolm Jenkins, but then you didn't see him make the call in the game against the Falcons.
Yeah.
But then also you see where
they missed a block in the back in that game on that touchdown play at the end of the game too at the Falcons.
Yeah, it's up there. It's on my Instagram.
Yeah. You know what else today? I didn't realize this, but today is the 13-year anniversary of the first game back in the Dome too. Today.
Oh yeah, I know.
So that's a big day. I mean, that was, how about the Saints getting that win? That was a big win for them on Sunday, too.
Oh, yeah, with Teddy Bridgewater. You know, the weird thing is, it's not only 13th year anniversary, but I don't know, it may be the 5th. I don't think it's the 10th year anniversary. But I think we were 0-5 or something, or 1 or something. We went up to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
And we beat them like on the front game. We were slaves to lose.
Yeah, it's been you've had some moments on the 24th of September. You've had some moments.
Yeah, I was like. I was like, I'll feel some calls, but I'll only feel calls about a job.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't doubt that some start calling you. So just to be clear, though, you are no longer with WIP.
No longer with WIP. They told me to kick rocks, and I told them, why thank you, because I was going to start choking people at random.
All right, big dog. I love you, man. I'll see you soon.
All right, love you. Talk later, man.
See you. Bye. That is Hollis Thomas.
It's the breaking news.
That is breaking news. Hollis is no longer with WIP.
Didn't they? You said that they told him not to be on your podcast either?
I think so, yeah. That's what he was telling me last week.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do want to go watch these Instagram videos, though.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that.
That'd be good.
All right, so there you go. I'm sure that'll be all over Crossing Broad and other places here very soon. Was Hollis. I love him dearly. Hold on, I got some other stuff. Let me kill some sound here because I got to get some music playing here momentarily. All right, now I should be good to go. Turn on the music. Let's rock. Here we go. Well, that's real upbeat and happy today. All right, who am I telling about, Jilly?
Biz by Solutions.
Biz by Solutions. That is Bob Plunkett, a guy that got on board with us last week. Appreciate him. He's a Philly guy. If you're tired of working to make someone else rich, Tank was tired of it. Are you sick of not having enough time to spend with your family and friends? Do you want to be your own boss? If you answered yes to any of these questions, a free 10-minute, no-obligation phone consultation may be the answer. BizBuy Solutions is the in of helping people like you find the right franchise or business for your specific goals and objectives. That's good, right? I mean, say you want to, be a franchisor. Is it franchisor or franchisee?
Franchisee, yeah.
And you can be part of that, make a lot of money, be your own boss. That's living. And you might say, well, Josh, I don't even know where to start. Well, BizBuy Solutions knows where to start. To see if business ownership is right for you, call BizBuy Solutions at 648-0200, 610-348-0200. Visit their website, BizBuy Solutions. That's B-I-Z, BizBuySolutions.com. And again, say hello to Bob and everybody over there. See if they can find the right business for you. BizBuy Solutions. So how about that? Breaking news on the podcast that Tank is no longer at WIP. He does have his podcast that he's still active in. I notice on YouTube the stream's been dropping a little bit, so I might have to restart that for the next podcast for the Houston version of it. We will get the Philly podcast out right now, and we will get to hour number 2 next.